This video is going to chronicle some of the changes I made to my Addams Family Pinball game. The idea is to give other people who might be wanting to upgrade their machine some ideas of the sorts of things they can do. First up, I added a undulating blue light to my cloud topper. This adds a lot of interest in the attract mode. Next, I replaced several of the white lights that were behind the trans light with colored lights, especially down here, the green ones where the plant is. It brings out a lot more color in the trans light. I also moved and added blinking lights along the lightning bolt to give it more life. The biggest change was to replace the original orange DMD with an LED type full color DMD. This is a lot of fun. The only problem with it is it's so attractive to look at that it can distract you from the game. You want to look at what's going on here. I also added speaker lights, and these were tricky because this is the low frequency speaker and had a much larger hole than the high frequency speaker, which had a small one. So what I did is I put a mask around the back of this so the two holes were the same size. Without this, it looks unbalanced because this is a big blue circle and that's a little one. Another thing I added, which is very useful, is a cardboard glare blocker. It prevents light from the back box reflecting off the glass and into your eyes. All of the original incandescent bulbs have been changed over to LEDs, with the exception of this one blue light. It's buried underneath all of the ramps, and I wasn't ready to take all of this out just to get it one bulb. What I like about the LEDs, besides the fact that they use a lot less power and generate much less heat, is that they allow for much brighter and more saturated colors. For example, these blue grave lights. In the original machine, they get the blue from a very thin, very pale blue decal, which combines with the yellow light from the incandescents to produce a rather dim, unattractive gray color. By using blue LEDs in these positions, I was able to really perk this up. I also changed out some of the regular white lights that would be behind the mansion room and several others with colored lights. It makes the greens really pop and the reds look absolutely gorgeous. Switching out orange lights with white lights in these positions helps add more color to the mansion room and adds a lot more interest. Another place I used a colored LED was in this two bear kicks arrow. Now, originally this was a white light, and that created a problem because thing was white, this was white, and all of the greed was white. So you had this large bar of boring white here. By putting a green one in here, it adds a little bit more color and breaks up the monotony. I added wood grain decals to the bookcase turntable and a new decal for the thing box. Adding game blades to both the sides and the rear panel help brighten up the whole playfield. The rear panel is particularly important because this area in an Addams Family machine is usually quite dark. This helps reflect a lot of light back into this area and makes it much easier to follow the action. Another thing that adds a little pop was, in addition to the safe that's mounted back here, I found some gold glitter cloth at a fabric store and tied it up like a bundle of gold and put it inside the safe. This catches the light flashing from around the game and really adds a lot of sparkle. And of course I have the usual toys: Cousin It, the bear, the train, and the telephone, which is in the mail from China, believe it or not, and should be here within the next week. One thing that came out really nice was that in addition to adding Uncle Lester, by the way, this is not Uncle Fester, that's a copyrighted term. These were originally sold as Uncle Lesters. I used permanent markers to put a wood grain finish on the electric chair. If you remember, this is originally kind of a beige oatmeal sort of color. It's not very attractive. This really makes it look like wood, and it matches the wood grain molded into it. Additionally, I used aluminum foil tape to add some embellishments to brighten it up a little bit. One of the nice things about switching over to LEDs is that because they use so little power, you can throw extra lights in pretty much wherever you want to, and the circuits designed for the incandescents can easily handle a few extra LEDs. And a couple of places where I did that is I added a green light to the swamp, but also I had never liked that the kickouts from the electric chair and the vault were like black holes. They weren't very interesting to look. They didn't add anything, and they were hard to aim at. So I added orange lights and tied them into the general illumination circuits, so they're always on, and in each place. And they add a lot of color, and they brighten this area up, which was before quite dark. So, if you've got an Addams Family pinball game, I hope this gives you some ideas of some of the ways you can brighten it up, and I have found it's really worth the effort. So, thank you for watching, and I wish you good playing.